How come most startups fail, even when we have more tactics and strategies than ever before? Join the bedside chat of an entrepreneurial couple as they share what it takes to create a business with ease and in flow.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Biz in Flow bedside chat. I'm Natasha Koo.
And I'm Jachym.
Jachym, focus. What are you doing?
Picking my teeth.
Okay, it's bedtime. Should have brushed your teeth.
I already did.
Can you focus?
I can. Can you focus? Because I'm the one, you're the one being distracted.
So, tell me what you would like to share today.
You're right, because you don't know what to share, so you're putting it on me, is that right?
That is 100% right. Now go on.
Alright, so I was thinking we can talk, actually you said it, we can talk about relationships, the law of relationships. Because when it comes to business, and how this came about actually is that tomorrow we are going to hold another event.
Second workshop.
Co-hosted
workshop.
Woohoo! And we decided actually it's probably the best to create leads through holding events. And leads are basically people who might be interested in what you're offering. And so, thinking about that, we were like, okay, so if we aren't holding an event, how are we going to then get them for the next step? How can we sell something to them? And actually, what I thought was that before we had the idea of doing like a quite low ticket kind of thing, and it would be shorter, like a month or something like that, that would be engaging with our clients, and it would be cheaper and all of that. And then I realized, well, actually, because we're holding it in our living room, there's not too many people that can fit in, and so it would take a lot of turnover to build this kind of up, and then we have to go over it again and again because it's just not sustainable. So I thought, actually what we can do is we can create an offer and a program that's more exciting, where people can really see bigger transformations like they have seen with my one-on-one work that I've been doing, for a year or whatever amount of time. And we came up with a nice structure where we are taking a small group of people, about 10 people, through a year program, and we start off with a retreat. Anyways, I don't want to bore you with the details, but just the price point is much higher and it makes it much more sustainable. And especially if you have a smaller group like we have, even if you get a few people interested, there's a potential that you can convert them with that. And so we went about and thinking about, well, how can we do this? How can we present this to the audience? And we were brainstorming about what is it that we actually offer, what are they going to get out of being part of the program? Because you can talk about the structure of the program, but that's not what people are interested. That's like talking to people about the airplane that you're going to use to go to Hawaii. Well, they're not interested in what airplane you're going to use to get them to Hawaii. They're interested in Hawaii and the destination. And so that's for us. It's important to discuss what is it that they're going to get out of it, and how are they going to feel, and what are they going to see. And so we prepared kind of a sales pitch, I guess you could say. And I reached out to a friend and colleague of mine and mentor to ask him, well, how would you do that? Because I'm not accustomed necessarily with kind of on stage selling. And he said, well, the most important thing is a relationship. And so those people who come to our event, they don't really know us. They're new to us. They don't know anything really about us. And so going from wow, this is a really nice workshop and I'm learning here and I feel really nice here and connected, to then suddenly selling them for him personally, that just doesn't feel quite right. And so I thought, well, yeah, he might have something with it. And so instead of trying to sell them right there something, what we decided to do is probably a better strategy is to have a follow-up call with those people, to kind of check in with them to see what they have learned from the workshop, what kind of insights and realization they had, what impact they have experienced in their life, and to serve them further, to build the relationship further. And through doing that, then setting it up in a way that we can then basically start finding ways to give them value in the sense of work, whether that's one-on-one work, whether that's through doing the group programs or whatever. What do you have to add to this?
I would like to ask you to share a little bit about how you went from one product or service idea to a different one. How were you able to so quickly shift and then feel into, okay, this is the right one or the better option?
Well, I was just looking at the number. I was just thinking about the numbers. I didn't even write the numbers exactly down, but I was like, yeah, I was thinking, okay, so if you're selling on stage and you maybe have a 20% conversion, that's pretty good. So if you have a few people, then maybe you convert one person, maybe a bit more. And if you are at a low price point like we had, which is a couple of $100, maybe a bit more, then you need a lot of people to make it sustainable in a way. So I was thinking, well, this makes more sense if you have a bigger audience. So let's say you have 20 people, that may start to make a bit more sense, or 30 or 40 people. If you give a bigger talk, then it makes sense to have a lower kind of offer. But for what we're doing, it just didn't make sense. And so I was thinking, well, what could make more sense? And I was like, well, if we can have a higher price offer, well, if I want to put a higher price on something, I need to deliver more value. I can't just do a month-long program. They really need to get something out of it. So I was thinking, well, how could I structure something? And well, that's how I came about, the structure of this new product.
It just came to you as you thought about the options available.
Yeah, I I have been doing change work for quite a while by now, and so what I like to do is longer programs. So I thought, well, a 1-year program, that's good, because that's also what I do often with one-on-one clients. And what I do with one-on-one clients as well as I do retreats or intensives where I go one-on-one away with them for several days. And I thought, well, with a group, we can do that as well. We can do this amount of time, go away together, and then have follow-up calls, and we can do all kinds of things to add value. In the end, for me, it's just how can we give them the best service? How can we give them something that really truly has the potential to transform the entire life?
Mm-hmm. And I'm also in the school of thought that for change work, and if you want a really big transformation, it just makes a lot more sense to work with someone or a group of people for a longer period of time.
It does, because in the end, change always happens now. Always now. However, you might have many nows that kind of make steps, or I'm trying to gesture here, but you can't see me.
Stepping stones or momentum.
Yeah, momentum, stepping stones, just things that accumulate. It's an accumulation of changes that are happening through the work. And if you're selling someone a longer program, it's also in their best interest, because you're stacking the deck in their favor. They're not having to stress out of their mind to get a change right now, immediately, effectively. You take your time and you just show up each conversation and do your best.
It sounds like from everything you've shared so far that we actually have quite a few pieces here that makes up this offer.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of want to unpack it and kind of show exactly what we've done, even though we might not consciously be aware of it. So the first thing is that, yes, we have the intention here to create a service, which Jachym has pivoted, and now it feels like a better option to do a longer term group program.
Mm-hmm. That's
kind of medium ticket, right? Not something for everyone, but also not so exclusive that, very few can afford it.
Mm.
So somewhere in the middle. So first of all, yes, we have the intention to exchange value so that we have a financial gain in the end. So that's our intention. And that was an inspiration, or you can say that the events has shaped us to, or has shaped or guided us to this step. To actually think, okay, what could we do with the events, right? And it's so interesting because last time, a while ago, we were talking about how we made use of the events. Mm-hmm. We talked about selling, we talked about making, using the data or the feedback we get as market research. We talked about how we can use this information to create products. It was really, really great. And also to hone in on our own presentation skills and to see our own strengths. So that was great. So now we're actually utilizing these events to look at, okay, can it be for lead generation? Can we establish better and deeper relationships and trust between the people who we wish to impact and the people who are coming? Now, yes, the very focused intention is to trade in a way where the people get their value and we get also financial value back. Now, as we talked about, as Jachym shared, the idea isn't to hold a workshop and then to hard sell them straight away. Mm-hmm. The idea is to first give a ton of value and invite them, for those who are interested, to gain even more from us, right? From a free call, and to establish an even stronger foundation with the two of us. Mm-hmm. And it's from there, when we service them and we coach them and we help them further, that we actually understand what are they going through and are they a right fit for our programs even. Exactly. So we are screening them, and they're not the only ones like checking us out. It's like a date. Both people are checking each other out. But I see how this whole process, even though we're focused on business, we're looking at numbers, we're looking at what's the most efficient way to go about doing this, but we're coming across in a very human, natural connection type of way of establishing our business, our audience, and our clients, our leads.
Absolutely. And I mean, relationship is so key, because especially in this kind of business, you are going to be spending a lot of time with those people. And if you don't like them, then it's going to be very hard. So if we are selling a 1-year group program and the people don't like us, that is going to be a long year. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. It's going to be a long year, and it's going to be lots of dread and all of that. And we don't want that. And it's just also, you want to establish the trust with the people, so they have had the option of actually seeing how you impact them and see how you work and see how they like that and all of that before they can make an informed decision.
Yeah. And most importantly here, what I do want to emphasize is, yes, we're here to establish a deeper relationship with them, a longer term relationship that doesn't end the moment they say no, or don't wish to be a client. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that we won't help them in the future, or we won't see them at another workshop, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing here is that we need to screen our clients for very clear reasons. Any of you, as you build or begin to sell your own product or services, you'll find that certain people are qualified to actually use or to consume your products or your service. If you have the wrong person and they're using your service, where they're just the wrong person to use that product, then the results aren't going to be as great, right? So,
absolutely.
Do you have some examples to give just to prove this point, or for us it's really important?
Well, it's very obvious to me. I don't really have a clear example for that.
For example, like kids products. Why would you suddenly market that to a crowd that's like 80 plus? Yeah. They're just not going to enjoy it. Like, why would you ever market, kids cartoon shows that are for like 5 years or younger to a group that's not right?
You have a better example than what came to my mind.
Oh, yeah? I guess I don't need to hear that one then.
Okay.
Well, what is it? What's a bad example?
I was thinking about marketing socks to people who don't have feet.
Yeah, that's perfect. No, but you can have a wonderful product and it has intrinsic value, but if it ends up in the wrong hands, or if you're reaching the wrong people, the impact is just not going to get across. And if you keep doing that and you keep selling to the wrong people, the reputation will be, and the ultimate impact will be that it sucks. You can't deliver. But it's not really in you, it's in you delivering to the right people.
Absolutely. And I want to say something, but I forgot what it was.
That's fine. That happens to all of us. Usually it happens to us quite often on this podcast. I just pause and I make a face. And sometimes it takes me half a minute to go and find a point. But I hope...
Oh yeah, I got my point.
Oh yes, go.
So, some people might be wondering, well, how did you come up exactly with the program? Not necessarily the structure, but like, you know, the results that people will get and all that.
The transformation that we are helping people to get.
That's very right. You're doing it the user-friendly way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the very easy answer to that is we listened.
Mm-hmm.
We already did a podcast about that. We don't have to talk about that again. But we listened to the people who came to those events. This is how actually the next workshop, the one tomorrow, came about, is because we listened to them. We're like, all right, we can do that with those people. And it's the same thing with this kind of thing. We listen, we have had clients in the past, so there's all kinds of resources that we are tapping into and information to kind of construct what we have constructed.
Absolutely. So I want to hone in on this idea because for the listeners, if you're a solopreneur or if you have such a small team and you're just starting out, that means that you can afford to pivot. You can afford to listen and experiment with, you know, very little risk, because you're not a huge company that every time you need to make a new product, you need a whole new team, you gotta do all these tests, and you know, you put all this money into advertising. You can literally listen and pivot, especially with how quickly the market is now changing, or how quickly you have to keep up with certain industries. But this is the benefit. This is an advantage we have as business owners with an extremely small scale business. This doesn't mean that you should try every single thing that comes your way and you should get really scattered and not focus and lose the direction that you actually want to go in. But it's just to show that, you know, just because something didn't go well, that doesn't mean that you failed and it's all over. It means that you still have the opportunity. It's your privilege as a small business owner to keep testing, and you can afford to do that at the very beginning.
Absolutely.
And you can do that further on too, but it just depends on, you know, the structures you've created, the hierarchy, how complicated, you know, everything becomes later on. And the bigger the company, then, you know, sometimes it can become very cumbersome to move through the whole ladder, get it approved, things like that. So if we wish to, we can move very quickly. Of course, you can build or organize your companies in a way where you really welcome innovation. That's another topic. But, you know, this is for us to do. And the first thing, in order for us to truly experiment and respond to the market, is to first listen, as Jachym said.
Yeah, so I can recommend to have lots of conversations with people, especially people who are potentially your target market, and start listening to them, because it's not about you, it's not about your business, it's not about your product. No one gives a shit about that. I know, I'm sorry doing this direct, but people care about what they can get out of it themselves. So you have to learn what it is that they're actually looking for, so that you can see, oh right, so that's what they're looking for, and this is my product and that actually matches that, or this is my product, doesn't quite match it, but I can make those kind of changes and then it matches perfectly to that. Then you actually are in service of those people.
Yeah, it's quite simple. You just gotta make sure that you're on track, not just in your head, but with the world. So I hope that this episode has really helped you to take a look at how your online business doesn't have to be only online. If you're someone who's an extrovert or really craves connection, and you want to see a real human from time to time, then hold events, right? hold live events, and you can even use it for lead generation. You can use that as market research. You can use that to sell your products and test your products even. And it's really important that you actually listen to them and listen to yourself when you get the idea to come up with a new product or when new ideas come up. But don't be afraid to experiment. And because we have the opportunity to, we're a small scale business, and we can.
And build relationships.
Absolutely. Sell from a place that actually feels right. Don't just go for the money. Remember what type of business you're in and what's the impact that you ultimately want to create. And what kind of impression do you want to leave behind, right? Are you here just to make money, or are you here to actually establish relationships and help every single person who actually comes across your brand or your business? Because if impact is what you're going for, whether it's paid or not, you can still impact every single person who comes across your business.
All right. I am tired and I want to sleep.
So thanks for joining us today. I hope that you really enjoyed it. Head over to bizinflow.com if you would like to get in touch with us and see if you need or can get more clarity on the product or services that maybe you need to offer to your own audience. So with that, I hope to meet you very soon, hop on a call with you, and until tomorrow. No one understood that. No one understands yawnage, but good night, everybody.